I'm 2 weeks away from marrying a man who loves me unconditionally. Yet last night, I made the one mistake that could destroy everything. My ex came back, my past reopened, and one moment of weakness turned into a secret I can't escape. Now my wedding isn't my dream, it's my countdown. Don't forget to subscribe a Story a Day channel. Let's start. Emily Carter had always believed that life gave people one great love. And if they were lucky, they found that love twice. Sitting on the edge of her window seat, watching the late evening lights flicker across the city, she felt the weight of that belief pressing on her chest. In 2 weeks, she would marry Daniel Hayes, a man who had shown her nothing but patience, loyalty, and a love so steady that it made her heart feel safe. Safe, yet restless. Her phone buzzed again, the same message she had read 3 times today. Aiden, can we talk? Please, Em, just once. Her ex-boyfriend, the man she had tried so desperately to leave in the past. The man who had broken her heart, and still somehow held a piece of it. Emily closed her eyes and let out a shaky breath. She shouldn't respond. She knew that. She had promised Daniel, and more importantly, she had promised herself that the past was done, buried, gone. But the truth was cruel. She had broken that promise. Because last night, she had gone to see Aiden, and she had ruined everything. Yesterday replayed in her mind like a film she wished she could burn. It was raining, heavy, angry rain that matched the storm inside her. She'd left her umbrella in the car, but didn't care. Aiden's apartment building was just ahead, glowing with a warmth that felt unfamiliar now. She had told herself she only needed closure, only needed to say goodbye properly. But the moment Aiden opened the door and she saw the look in his eyes, raw, regretful, almost desperate, everything inside her cracked. Em, he had whispered. Like her name was oxygen he had been suffocating without. And she had stepped inside. 1 hour of talking, 1 moment of weakness, 1 night she wished she could erase. Now, sitting in her apartment with her hands trembling, she felt the shame curl around her like smoke. She had slept with Aiden, not out of love, she knew that, not out of desire, though her heart had once belonged to him, but out of confusion, fear, and the haunting feeling that she needed to confront the last pieces of her past before stepping into her future. But instead of closing a chapter, she had written a tragedy. The front door opened softly. Em, you home? Daniel's voice, warm, familiar, safe. Emily stood quickly, wiping her eyes. Yeah, I'm here. He entered the living room carrying 2 paper bags from her favorite bakery. I thought you might want something sweet. You seemed a little off today. She forced a smile. Thank you. That's really sweet. Daniel didn't buy it. That much she could see from the concern in his eyes. He set the bags aside and walked toward her slowly, the way he did whenever he sensed she was overwhelmed. Emily, he whispered, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. Talk to me. You know you don't have to hide how you're feeling. Her throat tightened. If only he knew what she was hiding. I'm just stressed about the wedding, she lied. Then let me carry some of the stress, he replied gently. You don't have to handle everything alone. And that was what destroyed her, because he meant it. He loved her without conditions, without doubts, without the chaos Aiden had brought into her life. Emily lowered her gaze, afraid that Daniel would read the truth in her eyes. He lifted her chin softly. Hey, I'm right here. His kindness burned her. If he yelled, if he doubted her, if he showed even a sliver of anger, maybe the guilt wouldn't feel so suffocating. But Daniel wasn't Aiden. He wasn't unstable, unpredictable, or careless with love. Daniel was intentional, steady, and painfully good. Do you ever regret choosing me? She blurted suddenly, surprising even herself. Daniel blinked, taken aback. What? Never. Why would you ask that? I don't know, she whispered. I want to be the person you think I am. You already are. Her heart cracked wide open. If he only knew. Later that night, after Daniel fell asleep beside her, Emily slipped out of bed and stood by the window, hugging her own arms. The moonlight painted pale lines across the floor, making the room feel colder. Her phone buzzed again. Aiden, Em, I'm begging you. Talk to me. Last night meant something. Emily swallowed hard. Last night had meant something, yes, but not what Aiden believed. It meant a mistake, a betrayal, a truth she could never confess. She typed a reply with shaking hands. Emily. Aiden, last night can't ever happen again. I'm getting married. She hesitated, then added, Please don't contact me anymore. She hit send. Her heart dropped. It felt like cutting a wire inside her chest. The phone buzzed again, immediate. Aiden, if you think you can forget me that easily, you don't know yourself. Her hand went cold. Aiden, and if you think I'm going to pretend last night never happened, You don't know me either. Emily froze, fear pulsing through her like electricity. Aiden wouldn't. He couldn't. He wasn't cruel like that. But she wasn't sure anymore. Outside, thunder rumbled in the distance, echoing the storm rising inside her. She pressed the phone to her chest, feeling her heartbeat race wildly. Tomorrow she would pretend nothing happened. Tomorrow she would try to be the perfect bride again. Tomorrow she would lie to the man she loved. But tonight she felt the walls around her life begin to crack. She had made a mistake she wasn't sure she could hide forever. Emily woke up with the taste of guilt still heavy on her tongue. Morning light filtered through the curtains, gentle and warm, everything she didn't feel inside. Daniel was already gone, leaving a note on the pillow beside her. Early meeting. Breakfast in the fridge. Love you. Love you. 2 simple words that twisted the knife in her chest. She folded the note, her hands trembling, and placed it slowly on the bedside table, as if it were fragile enough to break. She wanted to cry, but she didn't have time. Sophie, her sister, was picking her up in 20 minutes to visit the wedding venue. Emily dragged herself to the bathroom, splashed cold water on her face, and stared at the reflection she barely recognized. Her eyes were tired, her smile weak, her spirit shaken. She looked like a bride hiding a bomb under her gown. Get it together, she whispered to herself. Just get through today. The drive to the venue. You look pale, Sophie said the second Emily got into the car. I didn't sleep well, Emily answered, trying to sound casual. That's normal, Sophie laughed. You're getting married. Stress comes free with the dress. Emily forced a smile. Yeah, something like that. Sophie kept talking, about flowers, decorations, the bachelorette party. But Emily barely heard anything. Her phone buzzed in her lap and she froze. Aiden, we need to talk. I'm serious. Her heartbeat jumped painfully. Sophie noticed. Who's texting you this early? Just work, Emily lied quickly and turned her phone face down. But the lie didn't stop the dread. It only made it grow. At the wedding venue. The venue was beautiful. White stone arches, soft greenery, and tall glass windows that caught sunlight like diamonds. Emily had chosen it because it felt peaceful, like a place where she could build a future. But walking through it now felt wrong, like she didn't deserve it. The wedding planner, a cheerful woman named Hannah, guided them around. This is where Daniel will stand, she explained, pointing toward the altar. Emily's breath caught. She imagined Daniel waiting there, his smile warm and trusting. She imagined walking toward him in a white dress, with a secret buried under every step. Her stomach twisted. Emily, you okay? Hannah asked. Emily nodded too fast. Yes, I'm fine. But she wasn't fine. She felt like she was made of broken glass. Sophie notices the cracks. During lunch, Sophie finally leaned forward and placed her hand over Emily's. Something's wrong. Talk to me? Emily swallowed. I can't. You can. I'm your sister. Silence stretched between them. Emily's eyes burned with tears she refused to let fall. But before Sophie could push again, Emily's phone buzzed. This time the message preview popped up before she could stop it. Aiden, if you think ignoring me will fix anything, you're wrong. Sophie's brows rose. Aiden? You're Aiden? My ex Aiden, Emily corrected sharply. And it's nothing. Why is your ex messaging you? And why does he sound angry? Emily stood so abruptly her chair scraped the floor. I need air. She walked out before Sophie could follow. Outside, she leaned against the wall and took a shaking breath. She knew Sophie wasn't going to let this go. She knew Aiden wasn't going to let her go either. Everything she had been trying to hold together was slipping through her fingers. Emily confronts Aiden. She couldn't keep running. Emily stepped into the restroom, locked herself in a stall, and finally typed back. Emily, what do you want? He replied instantly. Aiden, to talk. Emily, there's nothing to talk about. Last night was a mistake. Aiden, a mistake? You came to me. You kissed me. You stayed. Don't act like you felt nothing. Emily closed her eyes, pain slicing through her chest. Emily, I'm marrying Daniel. Please let this go. A long pause. Then, Aiden, no, one word, terrifying in its certainty. Aiden, if you think you can erase me like I never mattered, you're lying to yourself. And to him. Emily's breath hitched. Aiden, we're not done. The spiral begins. When Emily returned to lunch, Sophie stared at her with suspicion and concern. Are you sure you're okay? Just tired, Emily said weakly. Sophie didn't believe her, but she didn't push, for now. The rest of the day blurred. Emily couldn't focus on the dress fitting, the flowers, or the seating arrangements. Her mind was trapped between fear and regret. Every time she checked her phone, she expected another message from Aiden. Every time it didn't buzz, she feared what he was planning. By evening, she was exhausted in a way that felt heavy in her bones. Daniel's suspicion begins. Daniel was making dinner when she finally got home. The apartment smelled like rosemary chicken, warm and welcoming, so painfully normal compared to what she carried inside. "Hey," he greeted with a soft smile. "How was the venue?" "It was fine." He turned to face her fully. Talk to me. You've been distant for 2 days." Guilt clawed at her throat. She opened her mouth to lie again, but her phone lit up on the counter. "Aiden, call me now." Daniel's eyes flicked to the screen. "Aiden, why is he texting you?" Emily felt her heart stop. "Daniel, it's nothing. You said you two haven't spoken in months." "We haven't," she lied quickly. He needed closure." "Closure?" Daniel repeated, hurt flashing across his face. "Why didn't you tell me he reached out?" "Because I slept with him. Because I ruined everything. Because I'm terrified." But she couldn't say any of that. "I didn't want you to worry," she whispered. Daniel didn't respond. He looked away, his jaw tightening. I trust you," he said quietly. "But I need you to be honest with me." She almost broke right then. She wanted to confess everything. She wanted to fall into his arms and say she was sorry, that she was scared, that she didn't know how to fix the mess she'd created. But the words wouldn't come out. Not yet. Daniel nodded slowly, even though confusion still clouded his eyes. "Okay," he said. "We'll talk later." But Emily knew one thing. Later was running out. Aiden's final message of the night. After Daniel fell asleep again, turning away from her instead of holding her, Emily sat alone in the dim living room. Her phone buzzed once more. "Aiden, you can lie to him. You can lie to Sophie. But you can't lie to me." Emily's hands shook. "Aiden, if you don't meet me tomorrow, I'll tell him everything." Her world stopped. Her secret was no longer just a mistake. It was now a weapon, and Aiden was ready to use it. Emily didn't sleep at all. She sat on the couch with her knees pulled to her chest, staring at the ceiling as time dissolved into a blur. Her mind replayed Aiden's final message over and over. "If you don't meet me tomorrow, I'll tell him everything." It echoed through her like a threat made of ice. She thought about Daniel, his gentle smile, the way he always reached for her hand, the way he believed in her even when she didn't believe in herself. She imagined his face if he found out the truth. Would he break? Would he hate her? Would he walk away? Her heart twisted until it hurt to breathe. When the sky turned pale with morning light, Emily made her decision. She wouldn't let Aiden control her. She wouldn't let fear decide her future. She wouldn't let a mistake define the rest of her life. If the truth was going to come out, it would come from her, no matter the cost. The confrontation. Aiden agreed to meet her at the park near his apartment, the same place they used to sit during the early days of their relationship. It used to feel peaceful. Today, it felt like walking into a battlefield. When Emily arrived, Aiden was already there, leaning against a bench, hands in his pockets, wearing the same expression he used to wear when she told him she needed space. A mix of pride and desperation. He said softly, stepping toward her. She took a step back. "Don't." His jaw tensed. "We need to talk." "No," she said firmly. "I need to talk." Aiden blinked, caught off guard. Emily forced the words out, her voice shaking but determined. "Last night was a mistake. A massive one. I shouldn't have come. I shouldn't have stayed. I shouldn't have let old feelings confuse me." He scoffed. "Confuse you?" It meant something. You can't just push that away." "Yes, Aiden, I can." She swallowed. "Because I love Daniel." Aiden froze. "And I'm going to marry him," Emily continued. "What happened between us can't happen again. Ever." Something dark flickered in his eyes. "So that's it? You pretend nothing happened?" "No, I take responsibility for it. I live with the guilt. But I won't let you manipulate me." Aiden's nostrils flared. "Manipulate? I was honest with you. You were the one who came to me. And I regret it," Emily whispered. "More than you will ever understand." That hit him. His shoulders dropped, but anger still lingered. "You think you can just walk away?" he asked. "Like I'm nothing?" Emily shook her head. "No, Aiden, I'm walking toward the life I want. And you're not part of it anymore." His eyes softened for a split second, then hardened again. "If you walk away, I'll tell him." Emily met his gaze steadily, heart pounding. "No," she said calmly. "I will." Aiden's eyes widened. You're going to tell him?" "Yes." He stepped back as if she had slapped him. "You're willing to destroy everything?" "No," she whispered. "I'm willing to stop hiding." That's different. For the first time, Aiden looked defeated. So you really choose him? Emily nodded slowly. I choose peace. I choose honesty. I choose a future where fear doesn't own me. Aiden looked away, frustrated and helpless, but he didn't follow her as she walked past him. Emily didn't look back. Some goodbyes require courage. Some require silence. This one required both. The confession. Daniel was in the kitchen when Emily returned home. He looked tired, eyes shadowed, shoulders tense. He didn't smile when she walked in. Hey, he said quietly. Daniel, she whispered, can we talk? He nodded without hesitation, though worry flickered in his eyes. Yeah, what's going on? Emily took a deep breath, steadying herself before her world shifted forever. There's something I need to tell you, and you're not going to like it. Daniel's face paled instantly. What is it? Her knees felt weak. Her voice cracked. 2 nights ago, I went to see Aiden. Daniel inhaled sharply but didn't speak. Emily continued, forcing herself not to crumble. I was overwhelmed, confused, scared about the wedding. I thought talking to him would give me closure. I told myself it was just a conversation. Daniel swallowed hard, pain already darkening his expression. Emily, what are you saying? Her throat tightened. I made a mistake, she whispered. A terrible one. Silence, cold, heavy, crushing. Daniel's voice dropped to a whisper. Did you? Tears spilled down her cheeks. Yes. He closed his eyes like it physically hurt him. Emily stepped closer, but he raised a hand to stop her. Emily, he said, voice breaking. How could you? I'm sorry, she whispered, sobbing. I'm so sorry. I hate myself for it. I regret it every second. I didn't go because I love him. I went because I was scared. And I made the worst decision of my life. Daniel walked away from her, running a hand through his hair. I trusted you, more than anyone. I know, she cried. And I broke that trust. But I'm telling you because I love you. I'm telling you because you deserve the truth. Not a lie holding your future hostage. Daniel leaned against the counter, shoulders shaking. I don't know if I can forgive this. I don't know if I can look at you the same way. Her heart shattered, but she nodded. You don't have to decide now. Take time, take space. I'll wait for you, even if it hurts. He looked at her, truly looked at her, and she saw the heartbreak in his eyes. Emily, he whispered, I need to be alone. She nodded again through tears. I'll go. And she left, closing the door softly behind her. Holding on or letting go. Emily stayed at Sophie's apartment, barely speaking, barely eating. Sophie held her through every sob, every fear, every moment of regret. Do you love him? Sophie asked one night. Yes, Emily whispered. Then give him space. If it's meant to be, he'll come back. But what if he doesn't? Then you'll survive. And you'll learn. But you won't. Living a lie. Emily cried again. Sophie held her again. Days passed. No message, no call, only silence. She accepted that she might have lost him. She accepted the consequences of her mistake. She accepted the weight of her truth. But the love remained, and so did hope, small and fragile. Daniel's decision. On the 5th day, there was a knock at the door. Emily's heart stopped. Sophie opened it, and Daniel stood there, eyes red, face tired, hands trembling. He said. Emily stood, unable to speak. I've been thinking, Daniel continued. Hurting, angry, confused, all of it. She nodded, tears rising. But I also remembered something. What? She whispered. That love is more than perfection, he said softly. More than never making mistakes. It's choosing someone even when it hurts. It's healing together, not alone. Emily covered her mouth, sobbing. Daniel stepped closer. I'm not saying it will be easy. I'm not saying I'm okay. But I'm saying, I don't want to lose you. Are you sure? She cried. I'm sure I love you, he said. And I'm sure we can rebuild, if you want to. She rushed into his arms. He held her tightly, trembling with emotion. They cried together. They breathed together. They broke and began healing, together. Daniel whispered into her hair. No more secrets. No more hiding. We move forward with truth. Emily nodded against his chest. Yes, she whispered. With truth. The future begins again. 2 weeks later, Emily stood at the altar, hands shaking, heart steady. Daniel stood across from her, eyes soft but real. Not perfect love, honest love. When they exchanged vows, Emily felt something new, a peace she had never known. Not because life was perfect, but because she had chosen courage over fear, truth over comfort, love over shame, and Daniel had chosen her back. Their future wouldn't start by pretending the past never happened. It would start by surviving it, together.